Lincolnshire Buzzcast, a podcast where we take a real-life humorous look at life in Lincolnshire, as well as interview some amazing people who are doing some fantastic things in the county. I'm Lizzie.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Hanna.
Hello and welcome to episode 16 of the Lincolnshire Buzzcast with me, Lizzie.
And me, Hanna.
Today we have a very exciting interview for you, but one I wasn't in, was I, Hanna?
You weren't, and it's probably a good job you weren't, because there was a lot of meatiness.
Yes, so I wasn't very well, so I sent a younger, more attractive version of myself in the form of Jasmine, who graciously stepped in for the interview because I couldn't speak, which is quite important when recording a podcast.
Yes. Yes, you had, what did you have? Well, you didn't have COVID, which is the best thing. You had one of the many other illnesses that are around in the world.
The ones that you can still catch, but also it was one that involved coughing a lot. So it's not just not favourable for a podcast, really.
No.
You can actually still tell I'm a little bit husky, but much better now. So I'm here to record the interview, but it's going to be a bit of a weird one because you see my voice and then I disappear and turn into the lovely Jasmine.
We don't see your voice because it's not possible to see a voice here.
I don't know what the listeners are imagining. I'm hoping they imagine me like much younger than I am. Yeah. And much thinner than I am, and just much better in every way, shape or form. So if you could do that for me, listeners, I'd be really grateful.
Yeah.
So yes, we spoke to, who was it?
It's Frank Walsh from the Outback in Marshchapel.
Now, what is the Outback, just as a little segue before we go into this?
So the Outback is a steakhouse, restaurant and bar in a local village on the coast. They opened literally just before COVID, which was unlucky. But then have bounced back since we've been allowed to open again. And they serve some amazing steaks, all locally sourced from sort of Grimsby and that area. So yeah, it's just a really nice place to go. It's all decked out in like Aussie themed memorabilia and stuff like that because Frank actually lived in Australia, so he's brought back the authenticity of Australia to a little pub.
Is he Australian?
He's not Australian.
Accent?
No, he's from Sheffield.
Yes, Yorkshire. I see what happened here. I wasn't very well, and Hanna segued in some Yorkshire into the Lincolnshire Buzzcast. Interesting.
But you will hear him talk about Lincolnshire in a very favourable way, and I made sure that I did not impose any of my thoughts or feelings on Frank. So yeah, he has talked at length about how much he loves Lincolnshire and how well he ultimately decided to have this business in Lincolnshire.
Yes, it was probably really good that wasn't there actually, because I don't eat steak as a vegetarian. Most vegetarians don't eat steak. Sort of a thing.
Cauliflower steak.
So yeah, there was probably not much I could input other than the fact that I know my friend's actually been there recently and he really did enjoy it. In fact, it might be his new favourite restaurant, I believe. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to hear what he has to say, but that is in a minute of a time. So let's little recap in terms of the world of Lincolnshire right now and how we are in the world. It's going well, I think. It's quite nice to see everything back up and running. It's nice. I was on a train, an LNER train, over to Wembley the other day. That was really quite nice. Very interesting experience, actually, because it's very nicely air-conditioned in the train. It was yesterday, and it was the hottest day of, like, that I've had in a while. It's actually quite hot today, but I've not been outside, so I haven't experienced that. Just had a fan and my face all day. But it was really weird to be in a lovely, nice, air-conditioned, comfortable train to walk out into, like, Saunaville. I was like, oh, it's like I've been on holiday, but it's only muggy. Like, it's just muggy. It's England muggy, isn't it? It's different.
Yes.
A different pot, as they say.
Yeah, it's a dry heat. No, it wasn't. It was a very wet, soggy heat because I was doing the new students' inductions. So I was outside in the heat all day. It was vile. I was a sweaty mess, but retained my composure. Obviously, didn't let on to the students that I felt groggy and manky and sweaty and horrible, and that I was just as agitated as they were. I remained professional at all points in time, and come on, guys, kept them all motivated. And they actually really got the jazz hands out, and the students really, really enjoyed it. We've had some really good feedback from that. So, yeah, fantastic start to our new academic year.
It is, yes. So I was in Wembley for something that was very exciting that's happening in the world. And it's something I just wanted to make sure that we spoke about here, because actually lovers of Lincolnshire need to jump in on this, because Lincolnshire could be winning a trophy, and we like to win trophies. So what we were doing, myself and Jasmine, who was in this interview, went down to Wembley with Poacher. If you don't know who Poacher is, where have you been? He's the mascot for Lincoln City Football Club. Beautiful little, cheeky little imp. And we took him down to Wembley to meet with a load of other mascots from Premier League clubs, Championship clubs, other League One clubs, to launch something that's called Planet Super League. Now, Planet Super League is it's an environmental league, so it's actually where the fans play for the team. So this is adults, children, community groups. Anyone who wants to sign up can sign up to play for Lincoln City Football Club, I hope, because it's the only Lincolnshire team that is in this. They will sign up for that. And then you do little things. So, like, you can eat a meat-free meal. So you won't be eating one of those at the Outback. But you can eat a meat-free meal. You can do TikTok. I think there's one of them. You can do lots of other, like, you can things that are planet-saving activities, really, that encourage people to do things. Loads of different ones are all pitched at different ages. So anyone can do. But these activities, you take a picture of it and submit it, and that equates to a goal for your team. So you have fixtures, just like you normal football league. So our first fixture is against Rotherham, when Lincoln City actually play Rotherham as well, which is exciting. But you have the whole week to do all your activities and input them in. But we are playing against Rotherham, who will also, all the Rotherham people in the whole of Rotherham will be doing these things and playing for Rotherham to submit them. And the people who have had the most goals scored will then win that week. So we want to win. We really do want to win. We're the only Lincolnshire team in there. So what we need is people to actually sign up to play for Lincoln City. Like, even if you're not a huge football fan, but you're interested in doing these kind of things, or doing these kind of environmental things, they're great things to do with your kids, great things to do with you as an adult, or just things for you to do, new things to try. So sign up to do it, sign up to play for Lincoln City. Don't sign up for your Premier League team. They're going to have loads of people doing it. Like, let's get you on the map. It was really cool because they advertised it on Sky Sports, and the founder of it, he listed out all the teams, and he listed out Lincoln City, which was really cool. So amongst all the junior teams, like, Lincoln City was in there as well, which was really cool, because we never really get a lot of airtime on those big things. So that was quite exciting as well. So let's bring back that trophy to Lincolnshire people. It's very important. So sign up, go to planetsuperleague.com, sign up to play for Lincoln City, and start doing these activities, and let's at least win the first match.
Yeah, I'm excited about that, because I am a bit of an eco warrior, and I do have simple things, just for the listeners, simple things like having reusable cutlery. So when you go to Chippy, when you go into Seaside on East Coast, make sure that instead of using the plastic knives and forks that you get given, make sure you're using wooden ones, or make sure you've got some reusable bamboo ones that I have wrapped up in my bag, and simple things like that will get us points. So yeah, I'm quite happy about that. Yeah, I can get on board with that. I think I have a little compost bin in my kitchen that I put all my, fruit and veg waste into. So yeah, I'm quite excited about that. I'll be taking lots of pictures.
So yeah, some of the activities that you can do for Planet Super League, there's a leg power 5K, so you go for a walk and cycle instead of using the car. Pump up your car tyres. That's like really simple, but actually it does help sort your emissions that you're pumping out there. Make a bird feeder and decorate it in your club's colours, red and white for us. Try screen-free evening. That's really good. Why don't you knock out a bit of Monopoly and play that with the family instead? That's a really good idea. Who doesn't like Monopoly? Try not to make it run in a family argument then.
Yeah, Monopoly always. And or what's the other one? The one where you have to guess who the killer is. What's that one? Cluedo. Yes.
Killer is. I was like, guess who the person is. You mean guess who? As long as you don't let my brother be the banker, you should be all right. With Monopoly. Switch to green energy supplier, hang out the washing instead of using the tumble dryer. So again, these are things that adults and kids can do. Get a smart meter installed, snap an animal or plant, snap an animal.
That's not eco-friendly.
Snap, I believe it's take a picture, it means, of an animal or plant found on a football club badge.
Oh.
Can we class poacher as an animal? Is an imp an animal?
Oh, I don't know what it's classed as.
Well, Leicester City's got a fox. So you can you can still play for Lincoln Imps and take a picture of the Leicester City logo.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Build a football stadium for the bugs. That's adorable.
I love that.
What a little fun thing to do. Get into nature and identify an insect. Eat a meat-free meal. I do that every day. So that's me racking up some goals there. Grab yourself a yellow ticket food from the supermarket. I don't know what yellow ticket food is. Or is it reduced?
Yellow ticket food is either whoopsie food, we would call it a whoopsie, or do they mean yellow by the traffic light system? No, because the green would be the best one, wouldn't it?
I would think maybe it means reduced, so it stops food waste.
Yeah, to stop food waste. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I will give a shout out now to anyone who's got this app. It's called Too Good To Go.
Oh, I've seen that, yeah.
It is such a good app that you can search your local area for, it's usually like corner shops, your local spa and places like that have got food that is going out of date, and they put it in something called a magic bag. So it's just potluck. It's like Lucky Dip for your tea. That's what it is. It's Lucky Dip for your tea, and you buy a magic bag. They can only be about £3, all the way up to sort of £10, £15. But if you get a £3 one, you might get, some pasta for your tea, like a tuna pasta salad or something like that, with some potatoes or something, anything that's going out of date. And it's so much fun. Me and my other half do it all the time. And it's like, oh, what are we going to get? And then the fun is trying to make a meal out of what you've got in your magic bag.
It's like Ready, Steady, Cook, basically. What we get and what can we make a meal with it. I like it.
But you're reducing food waste. So, we do that. Most evenings, we're like, if somebody's coming home from work late and we don't want to cook, then we'll be like, oh, Too Good To Go, let's see what there is on way home.
Amazing. And the last two are try plant-based milk, which we did pretty much a whole podcast on not that long ago. It was called
oat milk.
Out milk.
Oat milk. Oat milk.
Donate a bag of pre-loved clothes. So a lot of these are really simple, easy ones to do. Some are more targeted towards the adults, some are more targeted towards the kids, some you can do both yourself. So when I mean it could be adults or kids, I really do generally mean it, because obviously the kids are probably not going to change the energy supplier.
I don't know, they might be really, really into that.
Smart meter. So there are some that are very specifically adult based as well, but these are so easy to do. There's 49 clubs that are in it right now. Could you imagine if the only Lincolnshire club in there was the one to beat them all?
Let's do it.
Come on, Lincolnshire.
If I'm
going to empower you to do anything today, it's go to planetsuperleague.com, sign up to play for Lincoln City, and let's bring that trophy to Lincolnshire.
Yeah.
Let's show people that we are best at environment. That's a word.
Environmentally friendly actions.
Yeah, that's the one. We are best at environmentally friendly actions. Let's do it. So Hannah, what have you been doing with your time? Because this has been a while since we've done the podcast last, hasn't it? Had a few weeks that we've missed, just because me and Hannah both have jobs, and they were busy.
Well, it was the end of the academic year, so we had lots and lots to do to get ready for teacher assessed grades and all that jazz. So we did all that. We got 100% pass rate in BTEC Sport for Lincoln City Foundation. So that's the second year running that we've had 100% pass rate. So very proud of our students. So big shout out to our new graduates, who all of them have gone on to university or work So bravo to our students who have just graduated, and bravo to our students who've gone from year 12 into year 13, because they have all passed their modules. It is a 2-year course, so they obviously only get their pass result at the end of the 2 years, but they've all passed and got on to year 2, which is a bonus in itself. And they
Very much
came...
so.
Yeah.
In the current climate as well, the kids have had it. Kids, not really kids, are they? Have had it very difficult, haven't they? They've, most of them didn't get to take the GCSEs, so they went to teacher assessed ones and things like that. They've had not school, lockdown, home learning, virtual, in face to face, a lot of change. So actually, to leave with a 100% pass rate is really good, because actually, it just shows how adaptable the young people are. Well done, young people across the world, not just the Lincolnshire Foundation, across the world.
Definitely.
So well done. Whatever you got, whatever grade that you came away with, you survived the year, and that's what counts.
Yeah, that's it. We definitely did survive. And I mean, a lot of our students, they've gone on to do absolutely amazing things. And I'm sure that there will be lots of students out there thinking, God, it's been a really tough year. But look at what I've got and look at where I've come from, and that journey that we've all been on. So yeah, it was nice to finish the year. It's been nice to have a little bit of a break. I did go off on annual leave for a week, and I went to Wales, and I went camping and took my puppies for walks. Wales. We finally got the 2 dogs on the paddle boards, which was good. One likes it more than the other. One tries to eat the water as he's on it and tries diving off to jump and eat the waves that the board creates as you go through. The other one sits there like his lordship, waving at the peasants on the shoreline. So yeah, we've got 2 completely different dogs who, they're both border collies, but 2 very different personalities, that one tries to eat the waves and the other one sits here and goes, oh yes, show for me about.
Talking of having a fantastic time, shall we get our guest on?
Yes. You've got me, Hanna.
And me, Jasmine.
And we've got our special guest, Frank Walsh from the Outback in Marshchapel. Hello, Frank.
How are you doing?
We got a nice how you doing?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, that's it. He's a man of very few words. So we're going to talk about all things Lincolnshire. We are going to talk about all things meaty and steaky this week. But first of all, everybody, how's your week been? How's everybody's week been? We had a good week.
I'm going to jump straight in. My week has been great. I've had a good week. Yeah, busy weekend, sold out, which is great for us. Me personally, and then I'll back off. Mine's been fantastic.
Awesome. It's good to see that you've sold out. Bank holiday weekend, rammed.
Well, we'll cover that later, but sold out. Yeah.
That's good. Mine has been really good also. It's been nice to have a bank holiday weekend. We had an NCS graduation for work, and then had a nice couple of social days out during the bank holiday weekend. So it's been good.
Ooh, sounds good. Where did you go? Where did you go for your social days out?
We just went in to Lincoln, so we went to a bar and craft, and had cocktails and bits and bobs. Went to Slug and Lettuce, and then went to the Botanist on Bank Holiday Monday, which was quite nice.
Oh, now talking about food at the Botanist, you had some good nibbles, didn't you?
Oh, it was amazing. We had a big sharing board, me and my friend, and we had sort of Scotch eggs, prawns, seasoned fries, all sorts of different things. It was really good. Nice to try little bits and bobs and see what they actually had to offer, rather than having just one thing, which was good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sounds good. So, well, on the topic of food, we've got Frank here, who is an artiste when it comes to steaks.
Well, yes, I think I am now. Yeah, after I wasn't. I just love steak.
We all love steak, I think.
A Sheffield, a working class family, we didn't get steak very often. So when I came to an age where I was earning my own money, I used to enjoy a steak, never knowing that later I would live down under. And again, it all started again when I first tasted a steak in Melbourne, Spaghettata on Lygon Street. And I didn't know, and I can cook, but I had never tasted a steak like that. And it never left me, being a natural carnivore, that I couldn't work out, because I do consider myself a good cook. I can cook, and I'll cook anything, Indian, Chinese, whatever, but I couldn't work out something so simple, and that's the magic of it, that it's just it's a piece of meat. How it can vary so much from what you typically get in England, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, to something that tastes just completely different and so much better. So that then continued my passion for steak and put a few pound on the hips.
A moment on the lips.
Pure experiment, though. It was just experiment.
Oh yeah.
I sacrificed myself. Yeah.
Research for work purposes.
Yeah, it was good.
Right. So you've lived in Oz. You've eaten the best steak of your life in Oz.
Yes, it was in Oz. Yes, without a doubt. And
why Lincolnshire then?
Well, I love Lincolnshire. I always have. I do, like a working class family from Sheffield, if we got a chance of a break, it was always out to Lincolnshire. It was always on these coasts, and I remembered and have a security with that, driving this way, and it being pleasurable driving out here. And then when I was in Oz, I decided, well, because I'm going to be back in the UK for intermittent periods. I thought, well, I may as well buy something that's not permanent. I can't afford to do that. So, I'll stay in a caravan. Where am I going to stay in caravan? Obviously, Lincolnshire. Yeah. It was just, obvious it was going to come to be Lincolnshire. And then when I was looking for somewhere for a business, having done all them years in Oz, it was obviously, again, going to be Lincolnshire. I made my way out to Saltfleet, and I knew, I could just tell that my heart belonged out this way. And it's still, and it always will.
Yeah. And we're both immigrants, aren't we?
Yes. I've been everywhere. Man. But I always come back to Lincolnshire, so that's all right.
He left God's own country and he's come back to Lincolnshire.
Well, I went to God's own county and lived in God's own country, yeah.
So we're in Lincolnshire. Why a steakhouse? So you said that obviously you found a good steak in Oz. Well, why bring it back here?
I'd had pubs before that were typical English pubs. And I mean pubs that were in the 80s and 90s when pubs were still making, a living. In my opinion, they're not now. And I know there's lots of viewers out there will know what I'm saying is the truth. They're just not. You can't pay wages on just selling alcohol anymore. And I didn't really want to anyway. I wanted it something that I'm passionate about. And I sort of brought Australia back with me. I couldn't stay in Oz. I'd got family coming. I'd got grandkids calling me Crocodile Dundee. It's a fact. You can ask my daughter. So it was time. My old mum's 87, bless her. It was time. My heart wanted to come home, but I wanted to bring some of Australia back with me. And I could do that. I do that in this steakhouse. When I serve a steak here, you're getting a steak that is served in Spaghettata on Lygon Street in Melbourne. It is different. And anybody who's been here knows it's different. So that's why it's steak. I wanted to bring something back with me. And I thought, steakhouse, Lincolnshire, do it right, do it Australian, do it how it should be done, like no one else is doing it. And then I became really passionate about it. And I always will be. I still am.
Yeah.
I'm tempted now to just go down and get a steak as soon as I can, because we were talking about in the office, weren't we, about steaks and how they should be cooked, and even looking at the Australian to the great English steak. I mean, even that sounds massively different, so it just sounds really good. It sounds amazing.
It is. No, yeah. I mean, I'd had steaks everywhere in the UK, and it is a treat to eat steak. Let's not forget, certainly from my background, to go out for a steak was a one-off. And you got to remember that the average Aussie home will eat steak 2-3 times a week.
Joss's face.
Oh my gosh, absolute dream.
I defy people to, if you was in Coles or Woolies, which are the Australian supermarkets, you try and find a 6 or 8 ounce ribeye in that supermarket. They don't even cook one that thin, It's so
Living in
different. I'm just
dreams.
pointing, there's just such a massive difference of steaks in Oz are 1.5 inches thick, or we'll go metric. They're about 50 mil thick, and that's what you come to England and you can. They're 18 denier. You can see through them, 18 denier. Right. 54 in.
Don't put your foot through, bottom.
No.
Right. And I'm going to describe it to our listeners because obviously we're an audio podcast. We're not a visual podcast. So it is a themed bar. It is like the bar area is real themed. The restaurant area is really themed. Like the amount of stuff that's on the walls and themed and a good old nod to Australia is absolutely amazing. What is your favourite item in your restaurant?
My favourite item in this restaurant.
He's got a good old Ned Kelly poster up there.
It looks awesome. Yeah. It looks so good.
The Ned Kelly just has to be here. You can't go in a pub in country Australia without seeing a Ned Kelly poster. You just can't. In Victoria or Ballarat, where he was famous for robbing the banks and stuff, everywhere has got a Ned Kelly. I've visited him. I got a photograph with a 40-foot Ned Kelly. So it's not anything without Ned Kelly. But to be honest with you, this place helped steer me. It was an easy choice for it to become a Victorian country pub because it nearly almost was. I mean, it's a very old building. It's a 1711 constructed. But yeah, it's really old. So it lent itself to that anyway. But my favourite thing is probably the driftwood mirror that Amanda actually made. But that is typically Australian. That is perfect for an Australian environment. And yeah, Amanda made it without any planning or anything. It was already done, but it's perfect.
It is. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. I might take a photo of it and put it on our social medias just so folks can see.
I'm very jealous not being there.
It is a work of art. And well, let's give a nod to Amanda, your leading lady.
Yes, she certainly is the leading lady. I started with the cooking. Because, I am good. But the truth is...
Not to beat around the bush.
I was born in Yorkshire. But Amanda, who is a yellow belly, is... she's better than me. And she wasn't, but she is now. The food she turns out of there is just awesome. Our staff come in now and we say, anybody hungry? Because with that sort of environment here, we're all friends. Anybody hungry? And as soon as they walk behind the bars, they'll say, no, I'm all right. And then 2 or 3 meals will go past that Amanda sends out, and you can see them start sniffing. And then within 20 minutes, they're all hungry because the food is that good. Yeah, big shout to Amanda. She does a fantastic job.
She does. So... do you and Amanda have the same opinion on how to cook the best steak?
This is so important.
This is really important. We might not be friends after this, Frank. How do you cook the best steak?
Obviously, steak eaters out there are going to realise that it's not as simple as what people think. Mm-hmm. I have diners that come here that will call me the day before. Because on my recommendation, I said, look, if you want to eat steak like that, do us all a favour. We want it to be perfect. I need to know the day before. A simple one is that if somebody orders a blue steak, again, that is 40 or 50 mil thick, like we serve, if they want it blue, if I take that out of the fridge and cook that, flash frying it blue, if it's out of the fridge, it's still cold in the centre. You can't help that. But if that's already reached room temperature, if you've had time to take that out and get to a room temperature, and then you flash fry it, it's warm in the middle, but still blue. So it's not, there are steaks that aren't that easy. The main thing with steaks is good seasoning, but you've got to know what you're doing, and that it takes time. Cooking steaks, in America, they call them just steak chefs because that's what they are. That's all they cook. They're on it every day and they get to a perfection with it. And Amanda's reached that now where she knows what seasoning is right. She knows when the temperature is right. She knows if you want it medium rare. And you need to do that every day. You can't just pull somebody out of a kitchen who cooks, the typical 4-page menu from the freezer in most pubs. Yeah. The 2 for $4.95. Oh. They're not going to do a perfect steak. It's the truth. They're not going to do a perfect steak. Whereas if you get somebody who's on that steak griddle daily, and they enjoy a steak, which Amanda certainly does, then you've got a great chance of getting a great steak. So you've got to do it.
Keep
Practice makes
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah, I think so. It's my dad for me. He's the one who makes the steaks or cooks steaks in our house because I'm useless. I'll always go home and get a steak because he can season it. He knows the pan. And if I probably attempted to do it, it'd be useless. I'd be terrible, I think. It's absolute perfection, I think, to get something as hard as that and difficult as that right, especially if you want a rare steak or a medium rare steak. You never quite know. You have to be down to seconds in terms of timing and resting it and seasoning it just to make it perfect.
Yeah, it is. And you just said the importance of the pan to a steak chef. Try and take his steak pan off him and you'll get it over the head because, it's everything. He needs that. Change his pan. And I said that to Amanda when we were first doing this and we were trying different methods at first. And I said, you change one link of that chain, change anything in that environment and you need to start again. And even though Amanda is a great cook, it took her a while to realise that you need the conditions everywhere to come perfect. And let's be honest, when you're putting fillet steak or filet mignon on a board at over £40 a kilo, you don't want to be messing that up. You don't want to be. I mean, I love my dog de Bordeaux is my best friend, but I don't want to feed him fillet steak at £40 a kilo. So you've got to get it right.
Yeah, and you're a blue fan, aren't you, Jazz? You like
I have mine pretty rare. Yeah, I used to have it medium, but I think I got introduced to having it rare, and it's just so tender. If it's cooked right, like I say, it's got to be cooked properly. It's just amazing having it rare. And just you see the blood, bit of blue. Yeah, it's perfect.
Well, if you come here for one, and I think you're gonna come here.
100%. Yeah.
Let me know I want to know the day before if you're eating it blue. Okay.
Yeah, I shall let you know.
Take it out of the fridge.
The next question, Jazz, what cut do you want? Because you've got quite a few cuts of steak, haven't you?
I normally have a fillet steak, if I can.
I was just going to show off there and say filet mignon, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you. I was going to say fillet, yeah. I mean, it's each to their own. In Australia, I'll guarantee you that 70% of all steaks ordered are ribeye down under. I love them. I mean, but then again, I love sirloin. I'm not really a rump guy.
Are you not?
No, because and a lot of steak eaters will say this when they come in here and we talk steak because we've got a steak group. The fat is flavour. It's a fact. It's not just a myth. Yeah. Fat is flavour, and a lot of people like the sirloin if it's got a good white fat on it. If it's a grass fat, if it's a barley fat, if it's grass fed. Or if it's fed on barley, then you get a different colour and a different texture of the fat. But I mean, each cook, everybody to their own, isn't it?
Yeah. What's your new one? You've got, what's that big one?
The tomahawk.
Yes.
Yes.
You need this one, Jazz.
This sounds amazing.
Well, it's basically, it's a ribeye with the rib bone still in it. Hence, if you French trim the rib at the top, it looks like a tomahawk axe. So they call it a tomahawk because it resembles one. It's basically a big chunk of ribeye steak.
All I can envision is something huge.
Yes. Some of ours are over 30 odd ounce,
Wow.
Our 6'6" barman, he couldn't manage one. So they're massive. But then again, Amanda and I often smile that we've had ladies come in here that weigh 8, 9 stone, and they've flattened a tomahawk. There's just a bone left.
I feel like it's a food challenge waiting to happen.
She didn't, did she? She did. Well, yeah, so...
That's you, Jazz. The challenge has been laid down, Jazz.
Yeah.
But you did expose there that what having a steakhouse has created is that, like you judge people by the looks and things. I'm as what steak are they going to eat? Judging them. As soon as I see them, I'll sit to them and a sirloin.
Spotting their personality through steak. I love that.
Yeah, he's a ribeye, nailed on. Yeah.
I love that you got hers right 100%.
Yeah, straight up.
Amazing. I've been told, now I don't know if this is true or not, because we were talking about it in office today, weren't we, Jazz? And we were told that apparently there's a steak app and it tells you how to perfectly cook a steak.
Yeah.
I mean, I think from having this conversation, it's more about the feel, isn't it? You don't think
It's the pressure. Yeah, there's too much. It feels like there's so much stuff involved in it. It's not just the timing; it's the preparation, the everything.
It is.
Yeah,
It is. And it's on. You know, it's on. We spend a lot of money making sure that we get great beef. And that affects your cooking. You know, your timing has gone through the window. If you've just got some beef that you don't know where it's from, you don't know the quality of it, try cooking it the same, and I'll guarantee you'll come unstuck. You know, that's why these standards. As I say, it's anything in that chain that changes. The whole environment changes. I don't think that I disagree that there's a perfect way to cook a steak. I think the talent is from a steak chef is being able to improvise and adapt in any situation and still come out with a really good steak. That's what Amanda's certainly doing very well in here now.
Yeah, she is. She's amazing. I will say, listeners, I have sampled the Outback Delights, and yes.
I'm very jealous. So jealous right now, sat here.
You should be. I mean, like Frank says, the steaks, they are like doorstops. They are huge. And the onion rings, well, let's not get started on the onion rings. They're amazing. And the coleslaw.
Oh, the slaw is the big thing in here, yeah.
Oh,
amazing.
Homemade. Whoa, you can't get any better, can you?
Well, do you have the seafood or the...
So Mum had crab, the crab
seafood
one,
one, yeah.
the seafood one, and I had normal, and I had a little bit of Mum's, and I thought I've made a mistake here. I should have gone for that one.
Yeah, because it's quite well. It is new. I brought it back from Australia again. It's actually served in their fish and chip shops. Their fish and chips aren't like ours. I'm not saying they're not really better than ours. It's just that you'll get blue grenadier fish in Australia, where you'll get cod and different fish in the UK. But what they always serve in Australian chip shops is this seafood slaw. And it was me that put that together. When I came here, I thought, you know what, I missed that seafood slaw because it's beautiful. And then I thought, look, we can play with the surf and turf here. I can put crab and our prawns that I get from Grimsby really are beautiful. So, yeah, I invented that, and then Amanda and the staff at the time tasted it. You know, the heads blew off. So I thought, well, that's it. Let's stick to it. And now 80% of people and we've only been open a very short time, but we've already had people come back here 4 and 5 times. Yeah. And whilst they had typical coleslaw when they first came, the first thing they make a point of telling the waitress now is that seafood slaw. It's not the steak anymore. It's the seafood slaw. Yeah,
yes, we do. Yeah, if you've not tried it, you need to try it. So
it's a bit of Australia. It is authentic Australia.
Yes.
Any Sydney cider or Adelaidean or a Melbourne, they will all, if they came in this place, they would know that they would feel at home.
Good. Well, everybody feels at home in here, Frank. Yes. Everybody feels at home. He's a good Yorkshire lad that makes you feel at home when you come in regardless.
That's right. Hospitality is everything.
It is. It is.
Very important to me here that is there. And I'm glad you feel that. I mean, as a person who's, you've been in here a few times, and that hospitality is everything. It's not just about me selling a meal or a coffee or a drink, whatever. It's about people being welcomed in a genuine way, like they are in Australia. The hospitality in Australia is second to none. The people that serve you are superb. And I won't have it any other way in here, No.
Well, everybody knows everybody by first name. That's right.
It has to be friendly. It has to be genuine.
Yeah, that's what we like. And I mean, well, I've got a few other sort of avenues to explore, because you talked about supporting local and making everybody feel welcome and stuff. You've talked about your prawns from Grimsby.
Yes.
Where'd you get your steak from?
My steak is from a local legend. Glenn Edwards.
Right.
Is the name of the company. I actually use a guy called Dave. He looks after me. I'm sorry, I don't know his surname, but I'm that sort of guy. I'm very laid back. I don't want to know his blood group and things.
First name basis.
Dave from Cleethorpes. He's absolutely superb. And I've gone through a few suppliers here because COVID was a tough time. The first guy a very dear friend from Grainthorpe, Tony, unfortunately passed away. And then I tried someone else. It was okay, but it wasn't good enough for me. And then I was told that Len Edwards was really good, and I can't fault it because Dave, who supplies me now, is meat. And I do demand a lot. I know that. And I'm hard work with the butcher because I can't accept anything that's not good enough. I can't. That's my position here.
Yeah.
And yes, the guy from Cleethorpes does the business.
Good. Nice to hear that it's local, it's Lincolnshire based. That's
Yes.
what we celebrate, all stuff Lincolnshire.
Yes, of course.
So talking of locals, you don't just do steak, you do live music as well.
Oh, I love, I'm a retired entertainer.
Not that we can tell.
Yes, I've been up with the worst. Yes. Yeah, I love entertainment. It's a swing back to my life that I had before I went engineering down in Australia. But yeah, I love entertainment, and I think that it's needed. Certainly after what we've all been through, I think that people should be able to go out one night a week, Friday or a Saturday, and there be some, however basic it is, some live entertainment on locally where they can go and listen to a bit of music. They can have a steak, they can have a drink, have a coffee, but there can be some entertainment involved, for the people around here if they want to come and listen to it,
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you've had, what local lad who did Elvis? He were a cracking.
We've had Tarn Nichols twice.
Yeah.
Great friend of ours, Caroline Nevin, she comes up all the way from Warwick. Yeah. She stays for the weekend. I thought she'd moved in permanent last time she came.
She did bring quite a few suitcases with her.
Yeah, we love her dearly. She's a great hard-working pro. She really is. The great Ellie Butler, who's lots of people will know her. She sings on the coast here. Ellie Butler was fantastic. Michaela Peterson came from, I think she's about 20 minutes away, but she's a great country act. Shane Croft came, another local lad. I've got a wonderful pair of acts in October coming with Lindsay Drakus, who actually represented the UK on the Eurovision. She's just got an awesome voice. She's a young girl that I met. She actually used my PA system in a club in Sheffield, and she was doing an audition for Sony Music.
Oh.
And she's just phenomenal. Even at 15, this girl walked in who just left a classroom at school to audition for Sony. And she was and is unbelievable. Luckily, we've got her here in October. And a friend who I haven't met yet, but he is already my friend, Paul Wright, he's coming over from Ireland. Great country player. So, yes, entertainment is always going to be here. We'll always try our best.
And you've got
it's nice to the atmosphere.
Yeah, great atmosphere, and they're putting together a house band.
Ooh.
Putting together a house band with a great guy who you know very well.
Just thought I'd drop that in.
Yes. I call him Rocket Ronnie from Just Past Donny. It's your father.
It is.
It's your father. And he did the circuit as I did as a professional on the working men's clubs and up and down the northeast runs and everything that we did together. And I tell you what, I love the guy. I love working with him. I love the fun that we have together. And that's the main thing. He's the perfect guy to be on stage with me because I like a laugh.
Yeah.
And so Ronnie's perfect, and we've got a guy Terry from Brig who's going to play lead guitar. We're getting some practice done, and we will be there on stage eventually every Friday night to do about an hour.
But that's it. It's good environment, good atmosphere, good food. Yeah. That's all you want.
It is what it is. It's part of it. It's a little bit of Aussie in Lincolnshire.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
I love that.
I have further plans with my chalets.
Yes, you do,
you know,
don't you? Yes.
I want it to be, it was always from day one, I always wanted it to be an authentic roadside motel, restaurant that you get in Australia if you're driving a long distance. The Aussies know what I'm on about. And you need them places in Oz because you might be 800, 900k away from somewhere to sleep. But I want to provide that in Lincolnshire here where they can come here, they can have a steak, they can relax. I want in theme chalets where they can go have a nice clean double bed, a nice TV, a shower, a toilet, where they can pull in, turn the car off, relax, eat, have a pint if they want, go and have a nice sleep, a nice shower, and carry on the journey if that's what they want to do. Because in Australia, my times travelling through Oz, that saved my life a few times. And it doesn't matter that we're not 800k away from anywhere. It doesn't matter. People need to relax, certainly after what we've come through in this world. And if they can come here and relax for a night or 2 nights, that's what this place was always about. Hospitality, people just being able to close the car door or close the chalet door and just relax. Because we've all been through enough, you know.
Yeah,
I think it's a rarity as well. I think, honestly, Lincolnshire, we get told that we're so rural all the time as well. And it's massive differences in comparison to Lincolnshire and Australia, but it's still quite a far trek to travel. And if you're on an experience where you're looking to go to the coast, it's just a perfect place that you can get an experience like no other. To have an Australian type steakhouse in Lincolnshire, you'd expect to go to an inner city or somewhere like that. And to go to rural Lincolnshire, enjoy the scenery, go on a long drive or a long travel, continue that journey and be able to experience that all in the same place is amazing.
Yeah, well, this is the place to do it. Lincolnshire is the place where I wanted to do this because it's a beautiful place. I'm from Yorkshire, and Yorkshire is a very beautiful county. Lincolnshire is, and I have to say this, even though Lincolnshire is just as beautiful as Yorkshire. Yeah, I find a different beauty here. It's more flat. Would you agree?
Yes, definitely. Definitely flat.
All the time I say to him, Lincolnshire's flat, and he's like, look at that hill over there.
No, it's flat.
And I'm like, no, it's flat, because when you drive down M62, there's massive mountains beside M62. That hill at Darton, like, there's some big hills.
Yeah, we climbed the Eiger for a pint of milk in Yorkshire,
Whereas the steep hill is literally, that's it, in Lincoln. That is the only hill. That's the only thing they can count as a hill, is steep hill.
That was always it wasn't just about licensing. I mean, I did a lot of hard work to get this place licensed and a lot of talking to people, which I'd just come back from Australia as an engineer working, helping the Aussie Navy with the battleships and doing some engineering on them that I took from the UK. And I wasn't prepared to be talking to office people from a council, but I went through all that and did all that. But my intention always was and still is for it to be a unique place that they will find in Lincolnshire, that they can, and there's a guy who's experienced in Australia, for it to be authentic, not for it just to be, a guy with a picture of a kangaroo on the wall. Who knows that Aussies will come. I mean, my friends are all going to come and stay here from Australia once the world is back to normal. I've got friends in Merbau North and South Gippsland who they can't wait to come and see me here. But I want the whole typical Australian roadside place where people go and just have fun, relax. If they want to stay overnight, it's there, it's in comfort, it's clean, it's tidy. I mean, my family being from a Irish descendancy, you will understand that there's rather lots of us. I have like 1 million cousins. And, it's true. And they all said, well, we're going to come over, where can we stay? And then you sort of stop for a breath because where are they going to stay? In Marshchapel, where are they going to stay? If there's a minibus come, this is only from Sheffield. This is only from 2 hours away, from under 70 miles away. Where can they sleep? There is nowhere really. I know there's a few Airbnbs popping up, but that's different.
Yeah.
A place where they could just phone. There's half a dozen of us. Yeah. This is a lovely area. I'm just trying to provide somewhere for people to come and see these areas. And I don't just mean Marshchapel. These villages are beautiful, Tetney, and to city folks like myself who was born in Sheffield, these villages have a lot to offer, but there's nowhere to stay.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
So hopefully there will be.
Yeah.
Tempted to do a staff do. What about a staff do and a staff stay over? I'm already...
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Functions, my brother plays, he loves golf. And straight away he said, Frank, if that's done... golfers will. I mean, look at the golf, Lizi.
Yeah,
the golf courses. Tetney again.
Yeah.
But there's nowhere for these people to stay.
Yeah, there we go. Staff do end of year celebrations.
Lincolnshire, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we have one more question for you before you leave us.
Have I bored you yet?
I'm just hungry. I'm starving. I'm absolutely starving.
Getting that kitchen Walshy, yes.
So I actually did do this because Lizzie usually forgets, and I'm going to say it because she's not here and she can't defend herself. But sometimes I forget. So 3 people.
Yes.
You're having a dinner party. You can invite 3 people, past or present. Who are you inviting?
My father.
100%. Yeah.
Always my dad. Big influence on me, and such a positive influence. He taught me. I took from him everything that I need in this life. That's just simply, everything that I've needed, and I've been a long way from home, as far away from home as you can get, the other end of the world. And he was with me every step. And it was his wisdom, his strength, his love, his understanding, his patience. It was all positives from my dad. That I was never alone, and I knew I could handle any situation, and I still can because his wisdom is with me. And he was such a loving, beautiful father and friend. He was my best buddy. So yeah, my dad's number 1. What was the other bit?
The other 2 people that you'd have at a dinner party.
At a dinner party.
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
Would your dad get on with Donald Trump if you could have both?
I don't think my dad would get a word in because I'd be talking to Donald. He's just
intriguing.
Yeah.
He impresses me that, look, I love someone who says they're going to do something and does it.
Yeah.
And I'm not a political man. It's nothing to do with politics because I'm not a political man. I don't do religion. I don't do politics. People are good or bad in my book. As long as they're nice and kind, that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to talk to the guy. To go. I saw something on TV about his family that during the gold mining in America, where they used to build hotels, and when they run out of the gold,
Yeah.
and they'd move on to the next mountain.
Yeah.
His granddad used to drop the hotel and move it with them.
Wow.
That's earning a buck, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not as simple as looking at the makeup of the man and thinking he's got this, he's got that. But there's a lot more to that sort of drive and that commitment. So yeah, Donald Trump, I'd love to talk to him.
And your third person?
Shania Twain, for all the wrong reasons. Do you know why? It feels like a woman.
Oh, I love it. Well, you've got to have a bit of female presence.
That's one bit my boots haven't been under. Struth.
Lovely. Well, this is your opportunity to plug the Outback. So we will give the mic to you. Your own little sort of sentence or power paragraph that you want to.
Right. Well, I mean, as they know me as Walshy now, it's great being here. And the greatest thing that's happened this year is the holiday makers coming down from the Saltfleet area. I'm a family man. I've got sons, daughters, grandkids, and the little fellas and little ladies that come in here and have a photograph with Walshy and get a T-shirt or a cup. That's the magic of this place. It's not about... the regulars that come in here and the steak, that's fantastic. And we respect them. And I'm a great steak lover myself. And I make sure that that's done correctly. But the simple things, the holiday makers that have used this place for the first time this year, the kids coming in, having such fun, all becoming friendly with us. They're coming back down to see us. That's what the Outback is about. If I have to say, if the one thing matters to me is the genuine hospitality that people will get in my door. Yes, the steaks will be good. I can guarantee you that. But you're coming in an environment with nice people who will treat you with respect and with a genuine heart that are really nice people. That's the staff here. That's what we're all about. Come down and see us. Have a great steak. If the chalets are up there, I know we'll be seeing you shortly. Yeah, it's a nice place. We do a great steak. We don't want to rule the world. We're good at what we do. We stay focused. We've got a menu about 4 inch long, and that's how it will stay because what we do well. If you like steak, you like good cooking, we're the place.
Too right. So if you are on the Lincolnshire coast and you want to add some Australia to your East Coast holiday, head to the Outback Marshchapel. You do have a website and a Facebook page.
Yes, we do.
So we'll pop those links into the description as well. So thank you very much, Frank.
Thank you, darling. Very nice.
Well, obviously not you, Lizzie, but for me, that definitely got my mouth watering and making me think about steak. So, if anybody does want to try out Frank and Amanda's amazing steaks, then please do search them on Facebook. They do have a website, the Outback Marshchapel, and I'm sure they will give you a good time.
Excellent. It was so nice to have something a little bit different on as well. So that's really good. If you're sat there and you're thinking, I'd be a great guest for this podcast, I do something in Lincolnshire, or I'm about to do something in Lincolnshire, or anything like that, then don't let us stop you. Message us. All you have to do is message marketing@lincolncityfoundation.com, and we can sort out having you on this podcast to talk about what you do. Maybe, for a little bit of balance, you've got a vegan restaurant that you want to sort to us out. But yeah, the world is your oyster. So please do get in touch. If you've got any questions for us, you want to qualify anything, then do message us. And feel free to follow us, Lincoln City Foundation, on any of our social media channels as well, because you can get in touch with us there about this podcast too. But most importantly, what we want you to do is like and subscribe so that you never miss another one of the Lincolnshire podcast. Thanks very much.
Bye.